beautiful people. My name is Mary Laura Cato, and welcome to the Melanin Culture, the sacred space where ordinary people of melanin get to share their extraordinary stories, passions, experiences, genius, and unique insight into the human condition. The heart and purpose of this channel is simple. I truly believe that ordinary people have extraordinary stories worth sharing and celebrating. All right, ladies, so it is discussion time, and I love this because it's very spontaneous, nothing really prepared, and throughout the week I've just got different questions from different people surrounding this topic of, you know, defining and owning the sacred beauty of a woman's body. And yeah, I'm just gonna shoot the questions out and we kind of discuss, so put in whatever you think. And also, I guess, anything constructive as well, right? Because we're all growing in this, and we want our we want people out there to grow with us and learn with us. So yeah, this one, I loved this one because it made me think a lot on this question. How do you unlearn the subconscious belief that my body is inferior to other bodies? Because it is a process of unlearning.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I think, like how we discussed earlier, it starts with your mind, your thoughts, right? So whatever you're feeding yourself is what will shape or change what you've already learned, whatever's in your subconscious, right? So I believe having role models that actually feed you positivity or give you confidence and speak into your life things that will help you to see yourself in a different light. Because if you don't hear it and you don't see, then you don't have a way of changing. You just stay in the same pattern. So I think, like for us, having siblings that are dark-skinned females going through the same things that we're going through helps me to actually see from another perspective and also get fed positivity from from them. So that helps.
For me, I think, you know, first choosing to accept yourself and choosing to accept who you are no matter what, and getting yourself fortified in your identity, in knowing that no matter what, this is me. You know, this is my skin color, and I'm proud of it. And then also, for me, it was through Miriam, the way she was so confident in her body, you know, and she could dress like she could wear anything she wanted. And I used to look at her and admire that, and I thought to myself, you know, you also can do that. You can. I gleaned from that, you know, and that helped me to gain confidence in loving my body.
It's so important.
Like Miriam said, constant reinforcement. Like surrounding yourself and choosing to pick what feeds you. So if you continue in negativity, I think it's really hard to sort of learn from that, or you sort of sit like in a bondage mentality. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle to sort of identify themselves. So the constant reinforcements, and I think just picking up from role models that feed you.
Absolutely, because it's one of those, like, the unlearning thing, because so much of what we know about ourselves and feel, it's at that subconscious level, and you're just like robot, right? It's just autopilot, and you don't even know why you feel certain things or why certain images or situations make you feel triggered or make
Yeah.
you feel like the walls are caving in or the room is shrinking.
Yeah.
And so I love what you guys are saying. Like, it's so important, and not everybody has that beautiful support in family or friends.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like finding that, even that one person. And even if you don't have a physical person, thank God for the age of social media.
Yeah.
Because find someone
That's
on YouTube,
right.
find someone on TikTok, find someone, whether it's a book or whatever, just
Yeah.
get something that will reinforce and help you to unlearn, because you can't learn anything new until you unlearn it. So you have to unlearn that rubbish.
Yeah.
And I find that with me, like, there'll be weeks where I'm like, I'm good, and then something will hit and I'm like, oh, that's still something I've got to
Yeah.
unlearn
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
why I believed my body was inferior in so many levels. Like, for me, it was not just inferior in terms of weight, but it was also in terms of race. And also, I know a period in life, it was also height, right? Because I was taller, it was like, man, like, no guy is gonna want to be with a taller, bigger black girl. So, and it's and what I found, which was really sad, that I had to unlearn, was an identity really framed around the acceptance of men. The acceptance, like being wanted and being loved by a man. I had to unlearn why was it so important to me, because I could totally get it with my sisters, my girlfriends. I was like, yeah, we accept each other, like they don't need me to be anything but who I am. But when it was men, maybe there's the fairy tales or the Disney tales, I don't know what it was.
I feel like it's because in society, a woman has to have a man. So you think in terms of, if I don't have a husband or a partner, or if I can't attract someone to me, how am I gonna survive? I had that mentality. I was like, oh, I need someone to be attracted to me. I need someone to look at me as this being that is sexually, physically, emotionally, psychologically attractive. Like, you have to have the whole package. But that's unrealistic. And I feel like it's just constant self-reflection. You have to look at why you're thinking certain thoughts and how you can move on from them. If you stay in that mentality, it's just going to destroy you. You can't.
And a big motivation for me, and that's not just in this area, but in life, full stop, has been, if it's not serving me, find a way to get out, find a way to change, find a way to replace it with something that does serve you. So even if, and I tell myself this, even if I am in a delusion, but that delusion serves me about myself, and it makes me walk through this life better, then I'll take the delusion anytime.
It stops being a delusion, it's your reality.
It becomes your reality. So it's like, the world may be like, oh, you're deluded. You couldn't possibly really have all that confidence and self-love for yourself. But I'm like, that's okay if you see it as a delusion, but as you said, the more you adapt it, the more it becomes your reality. And you I love that saying, we just use it so much, do you, right? But it's real.
It's real.
It's real. So, next question. How do you navigate? This is interesting, and I think you ladies could really shed light on this as well. How do you navigate the distance between health and physical appearance? Because we live in a world where and people, health gurus and things like that, think they're slick, where they'll be like, they poster up this image of health that only looks one way. And it's like,
you're not all like
and
that.
so I remember as a young kid, and also in my 20s, truly believing that if I didn't look a certain way and didn't have this amount of body fat percentage and whatever, that I was not healthy. Didn't matter what I ate, didn't matter how often I exercised. If I didn't live up to that image, I was not a healthy person. So yeah, let's discuss that.
Right. I think it has to do a lot with balance. Like balance healthy version of yourself and just the reality of who you are.
Yeah.
So you have to sort of, if you're eating healthy and you're exercising a certain number of days in a week, and you're not a certain body type that every fitness and physical features that is fed in the social media shows you, then I think you have to reach in that mental state where I have to have a balance. I know I'm eating healthy. Some days I'll have sweets and have chocolates, and that's okay, and I think I'm healthy. But I also think that we have to stop looking at the outside in the sense of identifying health, because we have so many shapes and sizes, and in all those shapes and sizes there's also healthy and bad.
Yeah.
Be super skinny and very unhealthy. You could be very big and very healthy. And that's why we as health professionals look at lifestyle and BMI. Like you don't have to look a certain way as long as your lifestyle is balanced. And everyone has different lifestyle. I just think you need to balance to make a healthy you.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's good, that idea of identifying health with an image is very detrimental.
It is.
Because you couldn't, like, I mean, apart from, I guess, really, what I'm trying to say, terminal illnesses in the late stages, right? Apart from things where it's so obvious that you can look at someone and go, oh, that's cancer or that's something, you could have someone, right, who is terminally ill next to someone who isn't. And you couldn't just pick it by identifying the body. But why do we do it when it comes to, you know, especially a woman's body? Especially that we have to identify what that looks like. So I like that point.
I just believe that it comes down to societal standards. So again, looking at that image and thinking that you need to absolutely fit in that mold is what, again, like you said, is detrimental to us. So as a nurse, what we advocate is have a balanced diet, eat healthy, eat your carbs, eat your protein, eat your vegetables. You need all of them. You can't cut out a certain amount of food just because you want to lose weight to look a certain way. How do you feel within yourself? Can you run? Doesn't matter what size you are. Can you run a short distance without running out of breath? You have skinny people that could run 5 minutes and they are literally about to die. You have bigger people that could run a marathon and they're just like, I'm ready to go again. So that's what physical fitness is about. It's not about what you look like, but actually your endurance and things like that. So it comes down to personal abilities. What you can do and what you can't do is personal. I can't look at my sister and think, oh, she eats this much and doesn't gain weight, whereas I just eat this much, and it's that you can't do that. It's very personal. So
it is personal, and you need to stop comparing, because it's about yourself and your health. And just like Irene saying, balancing that, you know, and for it to become like your healthy lifestyle.
Like your mental, physical, and spiritual health. It all just has to do with the whole entirety of a person. I was just thinking of bodybuilders, like they're massive, their BMIs go crazy high, but they're healthy. And so we just have to stop
because
feeding
protein that makes them heavy and not fat. So you have to balance
the muscles and so just stop feeding each other in square boxes where we do not fit at all.
Absolutely. And I mean, I guess that's also the power of representation, right? When you can open like a magazine or a YouTube or, you know, Instagram or whatever it is, and actually see someone like you represented in any form, like whether it is your body, whether it's your breast size, your waist size, whether it's your face shape, your nose, your ears, whatever. You could break it down, it could be the whole thing. When you see that and it's in a positive light, it does so much. And that's why I love platforms like this, and what you know, I guess what this channel is trying to do is just the more representation, the more it's better, you know. Like I think of a young me watching something like this and going, oh, awesome, like that's me represented there, and I know that I am beautiful. And it reminds me, I took my little boy to an African church, like maybe it was like maybe one. He was just starting to walk, and it was such an overwhelming experience because since I'd come here, I hadn't really been in a church that was predominantly Africans, and I had to really realize, wow, how much my upbringing sadly had been whitewashed because I grew up here, and it's, you know, Africans, when I came here 27 or something years ago, it was like 2 families of Africans here, so we really stood out, and for a long time I was so like ashamed and didn't really know where I fitted, and did not believe that I was pretty or beautiful or anything, because I was like, I'm just not the standard. And when I walked into that room and I saw all these beautiful young black children of all different, you know, different shades and sizes, and they were just so free to own themselves and to truly believe they had their Sunday's best, and they truly believed they were just, you know, kings and queens of the earth. They had nothing in that space telling them that they weren't the standard. And I was like, that's what I want for my boy, and that's what I want for so many people, whether you're African or not, if you're a minority, or even if you're not, and you there is something about you that isn't the standard as a woman, man, like I want you to find your people and find yourself represented there, so you can walk taller in this world. Yeah, definitely. All right, so the next one is it society's responsibility to help women value and protect the sacred beauty of their body, or is it the individual's responsibility?
I think it's both.
Definitely
both.
that
I hard agree on that. Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to like the 2 questions that you asked, because first of all, I believe that you have to check yourself.
Yes.
So I remember watching this Bond underwear ad, and there was a different variation of people. There's big people, little people, fat, skinny, all types of colors. And I remember sitting there thinking, is this allowed? Like, is this really allowed on TV? I had to check myself to be like, why shouldn't this be allowed? Is it because they don't fit the standard that you're used to seeing on TV? So in that moment, I had to check myself to be like, listen, you need to come out of that subconscious mentality of thinking that for someone to advertise something, they need to use a certain mold. They need to use someone who looks a certain way, because that's what you've been fed the whole entire time. So in terms of society, Bond's ad did great. Because the variation, skin colors, like, it was quite empowering to watch that. And I'm glad that I think I'm growing every day and learning to just accept that in every situation, you gotta have room to grow.
Yes.
You have to have room to grow.
Absolutely. You have to have grace for yourself to grow.
For me, I feel like the society can do so much in helping to build that confidence in women, in terms of how Miriam said, you know, Bond's ad showed the different variety of women's sizes and shapes. But it's also the responsibility of the individual to also look at that and take that in and accept themselves for who they are, and actually look inwardly and say, you know, I love me, I like what I see, you know, and reflect that. And you constantly need to reflect that as well, and grow in, you know, knowing that we are all different. We can never be the same. You can't fit in someone else's body type or body size or even skin color or shape, you know, and accept that.
And also, I guess it also stems from just who you are, like identities, just having that distortion of not knowing who you are or not seeing yourself. Also, it's like, where are your origins, and also just understanding what you come with, you know, what you bring with in a new society. And I think a lot of people lose identity when they have to start comparing. And it's like, you look at a mirror, you see everyone else, they look the same, and you look nothing like them. So I think it's just what you take with you, just your origins. Like I would say what I've taken from my sisters, from my parents, from my country, and also just loving everything I bring with me to this new space.
Yeah.
And owning the space.
And owning that space. Yeah.
I also feel like venture out there, like how you went to an African church.
Yeah.
That creates this new image, like you said,
Yeah.
and changes you into seeing yourself in a different way.
Yeah.
Where you learn how to accept and love yourself and see the different variations of people in your community.
Absolutely.
I feel like that is growth towards positivity. That's what we want.
So much.
And even if you think about it, before social media came into play, that's how people used to now gain confidence within themselves by venturing out,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
interacting actually with people who are from the same descent as you,
Yeah.
and different shapes and sizes and whatnot. That's how you would build yourself, even before social
Absolutely.
media came about. So, it's both the society and you as an individual play a part.
Absolutely, yeah. And I love that, because I love that that was a perfect example of society checking the individual.
Yeah.
And in some instances, gives you such hope for humanity when that happens.
Yes.
That society is caught up in certain aspects where you go, thank you for checking me on that. And then other times it is us checking society, or us going, okay, it's fine that society thinks that way. It's fine. It's even, I think it's healthy even when you're able to go, I know where society would put me. I get it. I get this game. I get this system. Because it's a system, and a lot of it stems from capitalism. Because if you follow the trail, it will go back to money. And so it's like, if I can understand that, and I can know where society places me, that's cool. I though, however, do not have to march to that beat.
Right.
You know, and I think that there is that it takes the both of check me, and then I can check society, and I can put it in its place. When it comes to my internal love for me, society has no role in that. It really cannot. But then, like I think that's a powerful kind of dynamic to keep, because you never want it to be society winning full stop, right? Because it's so fickle. It'll change. It'll change. And I also find really interesting is the gaze with which you look at yourself. We forget that the West is not everything. Right? But it makes the loudest noise. But there are people in Congo, in Kenya, who don't give a F about what that gaze says about who they are, their body, their beauty, their culture. Nothing, because they're like, that's not everything. And having grown up here, I am so appreciative, and I had to go on that journey later on in life when I moved to Sydney in around 21. That was the first time that I actually made genuine African friends. Like, I never really had African friends, and so and they weren't most of them weren't Africans that grew up here. They're Africans that came as like 18-year-old, 19-year-olds, so they proper were like, no, I am the beast. Like, I've never been told that I'm not beautiful. I've never been told that I'm not the standard. I am the standard.
It is a shock,
and
actually.
it was such a refreshing thing to go, I've been locked into this one gaze, and I've looked at myself through white filters, and I was never meant to. Nor should white people look at themselves through an African filter or an Asian filter or whatever. But it's so refreshing when you go, like, it's somewhere else. I'm as amazing as Beyonce. You know what I mean?
Well, if you went to Africa, Lauren, oh my God, literally,
like getting off the plane.
For
real.
That is so true. Experience that with Ivy. That is so true. When you went back to Kenya, you just feel like this is home. You just feel like you're in your own nature, sort of.
In your element.
Exactly.
Almost like you unmask and you're free.
Relax now.
Literally, you have to just like shake it off, and you're like, oh, I'm home. And kick off my shoes and just relax.
So I think it's and that's an exercise that really helped me practically, was going and just looking at like women from around the world outside of just that narrow Western gaze. And even in the Western gaze, what's really interesting about this stuff is, even when you talk about massive issues like even racism, right? When we talk about it, it's not about necessarily the individuals. We're not sitting here going, the individual racist. Like, it's very, I maybe I'm idealistic. I like to believe that there's very few individual racist people alive, but systems and systems and overarching, I guess just even biases or beliefs that are passed down. They are so big, and it can make you feel as though everyone thinks this way. It's the same thing that I realized when it comes to the woman's body. It's because I was so tuned into that one particular gaze. I thought everybody saw me that way. But when you actually start to have conversations with other women, you're like, no, they don't actually. No. And it's so I find that refreshing, and I think it's something practical that we should all do. Go around the world. If you can't physically, go online and just have a look and see how women are represented around the world and the different beauty that they bring, and that's a beautiful thing. Anything more on that? I think we covered it. All right, so this is the last one. Body positivity is all well and good, but in a media crazed world with such narrow beauty standards, how does the average woman feel and think positively about her body? Now for this, I think maybe if we could all give one practical thing that we do to help us to think and feel beautiful in a world that's
Right. I think skincare. I'm obsessed with skincare. I just think I have a beautiful skin, and the shinier it looks, the more people can find it attractive. I just think it needs to shine.
It needs to glow.
It needs to. Like, I remember when we first started our careers in nursing, I remember everyone used to just, the only black they could compare you with was Beyonce. Like the hair, the color, the shape, and you're like, oh, there's so many people out there, like we don't all just fit Beyonce, right? So I remember the next thing that they would look was your skin, and how young or how just youthful you are. So that's what I banked on. I was like, this is my gold, I'll take it with me. I'll try and look after my skin as best as I can. And I do realize that my melanin makes me who I am. It really makes me the beautiful, sacred woman that I am now. So I take that with me and I try and make it shine. So doesn't matter what my tone is, as long as my skin is nice, well taken care of, healthy, that's my beauty.
Because it's the one skin we get. We don't get to reskin. That's it.
So look after it the best you can and shine.
I like that.
For me, it is my body, because I know I had not necessarily issues, but a distorted view of my body since childhood. Like I said earlier, because I was thin, I was skinny at the time, my body was still beautiful, but I just compared myself to others, and I thought, since I don't have, a big build, I'm not beautiful enough, So I had to actually sit myself down and build myself in that I am beautiful no matter how I look. I don't care if my arms are too skinny, my legs are too skinny or whatnot. I don't care if my calves are small. I am beautiful. I have to accept myself from within, for even me to be accepted by others. So I didn't want that distorted thinking to actually shape how I saw myself. So through that, I was able to appreciate myself, appreciate my body, and actually take care of it. So that's my form of beauty.
I love that.
For me, I think it's the way I dress.
Yes. That
Because I feel
expression.
like I express myself a lot with what I put on.
Yeah.
So you can tell, sometimes I'll be wearing like a little cute cant
Yeah.
with my midriff showing, and I'm like, this is what I'm doing today. Other times I'm all covered up. It just depends on how I feel, but that just empowers me because it's something that I have control over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's something that no one can tell me what to do with.
Yeah.
So my closet, I don't have, you know, people have like a certain style.
Yes.
Girl, I have every style. I put
I
on.
love it.
Yeah, I don't have like a mold. I put on everything.
Everything.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like I need to try out things. You can't
Yeah.
forbid me from trying something because of the way my body looks like.
Yeah.
So I'm empowered by how I dress.
I love that. I love it. It's all three very different and distinct,
Yeah.
distinct views, but I love it. And I think what I take from that is find your thing. Find it, because we have to be deliberate about that self-care, deliberate about honoring ourselves. Not just in terms of that, okay, get your mind right, get your thinking right, get that content in that's going to encourage you, but actually start to physically do those things that make you go, you know, my body's worth it.
Exactly.
And because it's a temple, it's such an amazing temple. It's the only one I'm getting. So I'm gonna enjoy it. Like if it is your skin, go for it. Like do that skincare routine. You know, I love that. You know, if it's your body, wherever it is, and I love that the body is so elastic, right? Like you can be thin for a season, you know, and then enter a new season of life, and then you know you're not as thin, or you know you can be bigger. But that's the body. It's elastic. It fluctuates. But wherever you find yourself in that, I love that. It's like, no, I'm gonna love this body. And I find for me, I used to walk around, and I often talk to one of my best friends, Ruth, about this. Is we would walk around like we were sucking ourselves in. Like we thought we were tricking the world. If we were sucked in, we would actually be skinny.
Oh my god.
No one's being fooled. But for me, why I did it is because I felt like I had to ask permission from the world to fully exist in the space of my body. Like I'm sorry that I'm not smaller. I'm sorry, so I had to try and and that was even the clothes that I wore. I was like, maybe if I wear this and I appear smaller, and I'm sorry that I take up so much space. And I was like, I love when you finally get to that place where you're like, I don't need your permission. Like, this is God-given territory, and I'm gonna own the space.
It is free.
Wherever I go, it's freeing, and the expression of what you wear. If that's your thing, own it. Like, love what you put on, experiment with it, and don't let any label or someone tell you that you can't wear it. If you want to wear it, rock it. Like, I just think we should play with life. It's a gift, and the greatest way in which we do is with this body that we're given. And it's a beautiful thing. When our bodies are beautiful just as they are. Don't add anything, just as it is. Just the sacredness of it, the power of it. When you think of what we go through monthly, like everything that is a woman, just the origin of life, and what we get to carry and birth. And not just physically, because not everyone is going to be a mother, but that nature, I think, echoes in what we do, you know, whether it's spiritually or in other ways. Like, we are life givers, and we nurture things, and we bring them to life, and we level them up. Just celebrate yourself. Find that one thing every day that you can go, I'm just going to celebrate her. I'm just going to celebrate me, and then celebrate other women. Because I feel like when you do that, you get it back. It's like there is that beautiful, like, kind of relationship that you have. I feel more confident after today.
I do too.
I really feel a lot more empowered. I see it from different views, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to up my skincare. Excited to, you know, just own my body more. Excited to play with fashion more. Because why not? So, ladies, I have had such an amazing time. We could talk forever, right? We could go on and on because there's so much here.
Yeah.
But thank you all so much for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you for having us.
You shared vulnerably, you shared honestly, and yeah, I'm excited for this episode to get out there.